Is Iran preparing to use its deadliest missiles at what could become the Gulf's final breaking point? From the Qassam Besa to the Fateh 2 missile, is Iran's real strike still yet to come? Iran's strongest warning so far has left Donald Trump's Arab allies increasingly on edge across the Gulf. Is the IRGC plotting a larger strike after warning civilians in Gulf nations to leave immediately? Is Iran's retaliation now forcing US troops to hide, as new reports describe troops working from remote and improvised sites? In one of its strongest warnings so far, Iran's elite forces issued a direct message to America's Arab allies. Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps warned residents in Arab countries to stay away from areas near US facilities. The IRGC accused US and Israeli forces of using civilians in the Gulf region as human shields. The IRGC also threatened to eliminate US and Israeli forces and advised civilians to leave, according to Press TV. Iran warned that more attacks could target American bases across areas including Saudi Arabia and Qatar. IRGC said, and I quote, "The cowardly American Zionist forces, who lack the courage and ability to defend their own military bases, out of fear of the fire of the warriors of Islam, are attempting to use civilian locations and innocent people as human shields. Since we are obliged to eliminate the terrorist forces of America and the usurping regime wherever we find them. As they recklessly engage in the killing of Iranian civilians and the assassination of key figures, we advise that you urgently leave the locations of American forces so that no harm comes to you." End quote. The IRGC intensified operations against Israeli and US positions with the 83rd wave of Operation True Promise. Key American military sites in the Middle East were reportedly targeted with Iranian missiles and drones. The IRGC claimed those strikes hit storage tanks, an oil depot in Ashdod, and a US command-related site. Iran also alleged attacks on US military bases including Al Dhafra in the UAE and Ali Al Salem Air Base. So far, Iranian strikes on American military bases have allegedly caused damage estimated at around $800 million. Iran's warning followed a New York Times report saying US troops in the region are under severe strain. Iran's retaliation has reportedly forced American personnel to operate from more remote and improvised locations. Several American bases are becoming difficult to inhabit because of repeated Iranian strikes, according to the report. US troops have reportedly left some bases and are now operating from temporary sites instead. Thousands of American troops have reportedly been redeployed, while others have been moved away from key bases. Reports say US forces are using civilian sites, including locations in Beirut and Syria, as well as hotels, for operations. On March 26, Iran's foreign minister warned hotels in Gulf countries against housing US troops. On March 19, Iran's Khatam al-Anbiya claimed US commanders in the Middle East had fled and were in hiding.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. با توجه به اینکه همه پایگاه‌های آمریکا در منطقه از بین رفته است، فرماندهان و سربازان آمریکا فرار و در مخفیگاه‌های خارج از پایگاه‌ها پناه گرفتند و ما به دنبال آنها می‌گردیم. از مردم کشورهای منطقه می‌خواهیم محل اختفای آنها را گزارش کنند و همزمان برای امنیت خود اخراج آمریکایی‌ها را از منطقه خواستار شوند. و من نصر الا من عند الله العزیز الحکیم.
Iran's most advanced missile systems have largely remained unused so far in the current war, according to defense experts and analysts. This unexplained absence is raising concern among Gulf states that are facing near-daily missile and drone attacks from Iran. Tehran unveiled the Qassam Besa ballistic missile in 2025 and presented it as a top-tier system in its arsenal. Open-source reporting says Qassam Besa carries a maneuverable 500-kilogram warhead and uses advanced optical or imaging guidance. Its terminal seeker is reportedly engineered to resist electronic jamming by enemy air and missile defense systems. Interestingly, despite these advertised capabilities, Qassam Baser has not yet been observed in combat use during this conflict. Analysts add that several other advanced missiles also remain absent from active Iranian operations. Among the most prominent unused systems cited are the Fateh-2, the Rod 500 and the Eat-Med missile families. Notably, Iran claims that the Fateh-2 employs a hypersonic glide vehicle intended to help it evade interception. Some experts suggest these high-end systems may be deliberately held in reserve for a later stage of escalation. Meanwhile, other analysts believe limited stockpiles may be restricting Iran from using these missiles early in the conflict. There is also an assessment that some of these newer missiles may not yet be fully operational or certified as combat-ready. Another theory proposes that Iran is waiting for Israeli and US interceptor stocks to deplete before committing its most sophisticated missiles. In the opening phase of the war, Iran's large salvos relied mainly on older, less advanced missile systems to saturate and test air defenses. Over time, Tehran has introduced some newer missiles into operations, including Sejal systems and various Khorramshahr variants. Notably, the size of individual missile salvos has declined compared with the first days of the war, even though Iran has kept up a steady overall strike tempo. US and Israeli strikes have destroyed or disabled around 200 Iranian ballistic missile launchers since the conflict began, according to multiple reports. However, analysts assess that Iran still retains hundreds of missiles and a substantial launcher force despite these losses.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.